rate. Yeah. Yep. Hi everyone. Yeah, probably we wait a couple of minutes, probably another 30 seconds to a minute for everyone to join this live session. Yeah. Samantha, are you working from home or are you working in the office?
I was in the office this morning, but I've just come home this afternoon so that I'm not doing this in a shared office with my colleagues.
Yeah, understand, yeah.
It's pretty
How's
good since
everything?
the pandemic. We've been a lot more flexible with whether we can be working from home,
At
or
home.
working on campus, so that's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good to know. I think it's much flexible. It's our timing, our schedule, and yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So we've been pretty lucky in New Zealand with the COVID situation. We've been really lucky. There's currently no community cases here, so everything is pretty much open as normal. There's no restrictions currently at the moment, just apart from social distancing and keeping safe. But in general, yeah, everything's open. Uni is open, so we're really lucky.
Oh, okay. That's great to know. Yep, probably I will begin with the session, Samantha. Is that all right?
Yeah, no worries.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. Kia ora, Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore. I'm Kaiyen, one of the senior education counselor from ACC Global Malaysia. Thank you each and every one of you for joining our live session today. Okay, today I'll start with a short introduction of ourselves. So AACC Global has been operating since 2008, and it's a professional body that helps students connect to the right institution. So with our experience and your dreams studying abroad in New Zealand will be simpler, smoother, and it will be an easy process because we will guide you through everything. Yeah. So today marks the first time of AECT and Education New Zealand proudly hosting this live section. We named it ENZ 360 Degree. You'll be engaged with any of the 8 universities on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. So just search ACC Global Malaysia, Singapore, or Indonesia, and you'll be able to view live session. We have started our live on the first day, which is on Tuesday, 8th of December, and I'll carry on till tomorrow, 11th of December. There's 2 sessions. One is at 12 o'clock, and another session will be at 1:30. All right, so please do share and like this live session. So if you have any question, please don't be shy. You can just comment it at the comment section so that later we'll answer your question. Okay. Once again, I would like to welcome Samantha. Okay, Samantha is our regional manager of Southeast Asia from AUT University. So I will not take too much of her time. Probably Samantha, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Thank you very much, Kylie. And thank you for hosting us here from AUT today. So my name is Samantha. And as you said, I'm the regional manager for Southeast Asia region at Auckland University of Technology, which is called AUT for short. So I'm actually originally from the UK. I've been living in New Zealand for the last 8 years, and I've actually just got my citizenship, which is pretty cool. And so now I can apply for that passport. So yeah, I'm originally from the UK, but I've been working here in New Zealand in the university sector for the last 8 years or so. So happy to be here today and talk to you a little bit more about what it's like to study in New Zealand and the kind of courses and things that you can expect from AUT. And as Kylie said, just ask us any questions and we'll be able to get back to you at the end.
Yeah. So we will begin the session with a video. So we will be playing a video showing the overview of Auckland University of Technology.
We can change stars with our hands and hearts, make them shine on us. But no, don't worry, darling, they won't stop staring, but soon they'll be caring. Come from near and far with their hands and hearts.
Yeah, I think as everyone knows that Auckland is the largest city in New Zealand, probably Samantha, would you like to share with us a bit more about Auckland, about AUT in terms of the weather, the culture, or as international students, what should students expect to know more about the city?
Sure.
Yeah,
I'm just going to share a few slides with you
yeah,
just to talk a little bit more about this so that everyone gets a
mhm,
bit of a visual as well as just me
yeah, sure.
talking. So, as you guys would all know, New Zealand is a small-ish island down next to Australia here. So we're about 2.5 hours flight from Sydney, and we're about 10 hours flight from you can fly from Bangkok, from Singapore, from KL directly. So you sort of time for a quick nap, a bit of a dinner, watch a couple of movies before you arrive here in Auckland. As you said, Auckland is the biggest city in New Zealand. So you can see the three major cities there on the screen. So there's
Mhm,
Christchurch on the South Island, Wellington, which is the capital, and then Auckland, which is at the top of the North Island. So as it is the largest and most populated city, it is the most culturally diverse city in New Zealand. More than 1 in 3 people that live in Auckland was born overseas. So, as I already said, I'm not from New Zealand myself. So it's known as one of the world's super diverse cities. It's actually more diverse than Sydney, than Los Angeles, than
mhm,
London, or even New York, which might be actually kind of surprising because you don't necessarily think of New Zealand as that. So it's at the top of the North Island, and because we're in the southern hemisphere, the more north you go in New Zealand, the warmer it is, because it's
mhm.
obviously closer to the equator, which is different to the northern hemisphere. So we're really lucky to have a subtropical climate here. So daytime temperatures in the summer, as I was telling you earlier,
Yeah,
Kylie,
yeah.
around 25 degrees during the day. It's actually
Mhm,
probably nearly 30 degrees here today because we're in the summertime, and it's about 15 degrees during the day in the winter. So there's no frost, there's no ice, there's no snow.
yeah.
If you want to try skiing, then you need to go down to the middle of the North Island to where the mountains are. If anyone's really interested in that kind of thing. So
Averagely, snowing, it's roughly around how much degree if it's in winter?
It would be about 0 degrees if it's
Ah,
snowing.
okay.
So you
Mhm,
get the snow in the mountains,
mhm,
sort of in the middle of the North Island and on the South Island. But because
mhm,
we're on the coast and we're up so close to the equator, it never snows in Auckland.
mhm.
And we
Yeah,
don't have the mountains here, so
yeah.
you can see a couple of pictures here on the screen
Mhm,
as well of Auckland. So it has a really diverse range of environments. You can be in the city centre with all the shops, cafes, restaurants, as you can see on the slide there. And that's actually where our main city campus is based. And then you
mhm,
can be out at the beach or in a regional park if you want to go for a hike in about 20 minutes. So you kind of get that best of both worlds. You've got city and you've got country really easily accessible. So
mhm,
we're pretty lucky to be based here in Auckland. It is, as we've already said, New Zealand's largest city, but on the grand scale of cities around the world, it's not that big. It has about
mhm.
1.5 million people.
Ah,
So
okay.
because it has so many people, it is the hub of commerce and development in New Zealand.
Yep. Yeah. How about if let's say students are if in terms of transportation wise, usually international students would they be taking buses or would they be taking trains or would they be taking going on their bike or would they be walking to the campus or to the city?
So you can see we've got 3 campus locations here. So you've
Mm-hmm,
got the North Shore campus, which is just over the harbour bridge. We've got the main city campus, which
mm-hmm,
is right in the middle of the city centre. And then we've
mm-hmm,
got the South campus, which is about half an hour away from the main city campus. Most of our programs are run at the city campus, but there's shuttle buses that connect all 3 campuses that run throughout the day. So the students can take one class at, say, city campus and then have another course at North Campus, and that's not a problem. So that's the AUT transportation. In terms of the general transport, most students would be taking trains or buses. So we do have accommodation in the city campus, which we'll talk a little bit more about in a minute. But that is right next to the city campus, so you can just walk around. Auckland is a very safe and walkable city. So actually one of the reasons that I really like living in New Zealand, and one of the reasons I didn't go back home was because of how safe it is. I really like that I can walk by myself in the city centre, even in the evening, and it's not a problem. So definitely you can walk around. The main transport hub of the city is very close to the city campus, so you can walk in about 10 minutes. So it's really easy to train or bus into campus, and there's buses that stop outside the campus as well. So pretty easy to get around. And if anyone is an avid cyclist, you can of course cycle into uni, and it's pretty easy to cycle around as well.
Yeah, I think the benefits of AUT is that it is a city campus, hence it is very convenient for students to walk around, explore the city, and go to university. Yeah, if let's say as an international students, would they have any benefits in terms of like discount or taking public transport and all those?
Yeah, so students are eligible for discounted fares on all Auckland transport. So that includes the buses, the train, the ferry. So I believe it's about a 30% discount. So it's pretty good. But as you say, you can walk to all of the shops, cafes, restaurants that are around in the city centre anyway. We have quite a nice harbour that has a waterfront that overlooks, so it overlooks the harbour with lots of shops, cafes. It's about 15 minutes walk from the campus.
Yeah, I think it's very convenient for students.
Yeah, it's really convenient.
Yeah. As you mentioned earlier about accommodation, it is in the city campus. Probably you can share a bit more about accommodation.
Sure. So we actually have accommodation at both the city and the North Shore campuses. So you can see a couple of pictures on the screen there of what it looks like. So at all of our halls of residence, you have your own bedroom, which is set up for you to study. So it has Wi-Fi, desk, bed, and everything you need to study. But you would normally share the kitchen, the living room, and the bathroom. So normally with about 4 other students, and you can request different things, like if you prefer to have a single sex apartment, or if you prefer a low alcohol apartment, things like that, then you can definitely request those things. They are self-catered, so we won't be providing the food for you. So students are expected to cook for themselves, but if they are under 18, then they would need to go to homestay. That's basically across the board in New Zealand, because you would need to have meals prepared for you. But if you are over 18, then we would recommend that you stay in accommodation, actually, at least for your first semester. It's a really good way to make friends and to get to know the city if you haven't been to New Zealand before. Make friends. They have, as you can see on the pictures, they have basketball court, they have pool table, they have shared kitchens. So really cool way to get involved in university life.
Yeah, I think international students like Malaysian, Singaporean, or Indonesia, they will commonly cook. Yeah, because if let's say they would like to get like daily groceries and all those, is it convenient, or is there any grocery stores on campus?
Definitely. So the campus actually has it has a range of different cafes and restaurants and things on campus anyway. But if you do prefer to cook for yourself, within a short distance there is a lot of different shops and supermarkets available. So there's the main 2 big supermarkets that are available. And there's also a range of specialty stores like Asian grocers and things. So you can find all of the things that you might not be able to get at the main supermarkets in those kind of specialty stores around the city campus. And you can see a picture of Auckland on the screen there as well. So you can see how easy it is to sort of walk around and stuff.
Yeah. In Auckland, would there be a lot of like Southeast Asian cuisine? Sometimes international students they are homesick, they miss cuisine, and they can't cook good curry or good probably some other cuisine. Is that available in Auckland?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I like as I said, 1 in 3 people that live in Auckland was not
Mm.
born in New Zealand. So
Yeah.
massive range of different things that it's really set up for people from all over the world. I mean, even at AUT itself, we have over 5,000 international students from 140 different countries, and you could basically find food to mirror that. So there's definitely, you would be able to find food from Southeast Asia or China or Japan or India or the US or wherever it is, Mexico, that you want to find food from. So yeah, it's a good opportunity to try food that you maybe haven't tried before as well, because you
Yeah.
get food from all over the world, definitely.
Yeah, that's great to know. Yeah, so next, I think we will be having a video about the university. So let's play this video.
Get ready. Be inspired. Be courageous. Be great. Explore the world and share your discoveries. Find your passion in surprising places. Think differently. Challenge perspectives. Create, innovate, respond, and then adapt. Connect and influence. Be curious. Be critical. Ask questions. Find new solutions. Make waves. And get ready for the world.
Yeah, probably Samantha, you'd like to share with us about AUT is popular in terms of which course, or is there any specialty within the university so that students will be able to understand what are the courses available at AUT? Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, definitely. I can start by talking a little bit about AUT and then a bit about the courses and things that we offer. So we're currently ranked in the top 1% of universities in the world and also the top millennial university in Australasia. So millennial category is those institutions that have become universities in the last 20 years. So we are New Zealand's youngest university and we are the only university of technology here. So our teaching philosophy tends to be pretty innovative and future focused. We place a lot of emphasis on the combination of theory and practical learning. So actually 93% of our undergraduates complete a work placement or internship as a part of their program. And because we have such a big focus on that, 94% of AUT students are in paid employment or further studies within 9 months of completing their program, which is why we have the 5 out of 5 stars for employability that you can see on the screen there. And we're also number 1 in New Zealand for international outlook. Let me just flip the slide. Sorry, it's getting a little bit stuck.
No worries.
So as the teaching philosophy is pretty innovative. We encourage our students to really get involved, to get that hands-on experience as a part of their programs. So the classes at AUT tend to be a little bit smaller and a little bit more interactive than you might find at other institutions, so that students are really what we call like work ready or job ready when they their programs, and they're ready to be great graduates, which is what AUT is aiming to create for our students.
Yeah, I think by looking at the pictures and all, AUT giving a vibe that the university is very modern, very technology, and then it's very hands-on, not very theoretical and all those. So I think that is what the future is like. We're preparing students for the future and also especially those skills. Yeah,
absolutely, definitely. I think that it's really what students are looking for these days. I mean, you really want to know what kind of career you're going to be able to get out of your program and what it's going to lead you to. So I think we'll talk about that in a bit, but AUT provides quite a lot of support for students in that way.
Yeah.
So we have over 250 different programs across our 5 different faculties. So that's ranging from certificates and diplomas, those kind of pre-degree programs, through to your normal bachelor's, which is in New Zealand about 3 or 4 years, depending on which program you do, through your master's, which is normally 1 to 2 years, and all the way through to PhD. So you can see the study options that we have on the screen there. I'm not gonna run through them all because, as I say, we have 250 different programs, but I'll just highlight a couple. So our School of Art and Design, AUT is famous for art and design in New Zealand. We're ranked in the top 100 in the world. And again, as you would imagine, that's a really hands-on practical program. It's a lot of studio-based elements and workshops students will complete. We also have communication studies in the top 150 in the world. Probably our highest ranked subject area is hospitality and tourism, ranked 34 in the world. We're also New Zealand's biggest health science education provider. So we're New Zealand's highest ranked in that area. We're also ranked number 35 in the world for sports and recreation science. And we are New Zealand's leading university in that area. And so, yeah, we offer qualifications across a lot of different areas. So what I would recommend for students is to just take a look at our website, www.aut.ac.nz, and you'll be able to find a lot more information about those programs than I can give to you in this session.
Yep.
But again, happy to answer any questions about those programs at the end. So sorry, I just click over these because this is just what we've spoken about.
Yep.
Sorry, it's just been a little bit slow.
No worries. Yeah.
Cool. So, I mean, we've spoken a little bit about how we are the only University of Technology and how we are a modern university. So, as you would expect, AUT has a lot of exceptional facilities. These are based at all 3 of our campuses. So, we have industry standard facilities, which include things like a TV and radio studio. So that includes sound and editing suites, live news media center. We actually have a working radio station that broadcasts to the Auckland area, which is pretty cool. That middle guy that you can see on the slide there, he's using our motion capture studio. So we have the biggest, apart from actually in proper industry, we have the biggest motion capture studio in New Zealand. And that's pretty cool to see the kind of animation work and motion capture that our students bring into a lot of them are design students, but there is the opportunity to take minors in things like animation and motion capture, even if you're doing a different program. We also have 3D printing lab. We have 3 art galleries on campus. We have 7 commercial kitchens and 2 restaurants that are open to the public if students are thinking about hospitality or tourism. We've already spoken about our state-of-the-art sports facilities, and we also have things like clinics for the health sciences students. So all of those exceptional facilities is there to back up the practical side of the program for the students.
Besides studying, is there any assistance or support that students will be getting in terms of their career or work opportunities?
Absolutely. So as we sort of touched upon, AUT has a real focus on making sure that its students and its graduates are career ready to get them off to the best possible start. So a unique opportunity that AUT has is that we give our students that workplace experience as a part of their program. So that's credit bearing. For example, in the Bachelor of Business, it's a 3-year program, and you would go on internship in your final semester. You will work with a company in New Zealand or overseas actually, and to sort of create a research project that you will then get credit for back towards your studies, which is pretty cool. So students have a chance to see what it's like to be in the workplace environment, to understand the industry, to network, and to become confident as an employee before they graduate. So it gives them a real competitive edge when they go to look for jobs after they complete their program. We actually have 5,000 industry partners, both in New Zealand and internationally. And through these connections, a lot of the graduates have then gone on to work at those in those companies once they graduate. So some of the companies that our students have gone on to work at after internships are Google, working for the All Blacks, the New Zealand rugby team, KPMG, Nike, Al Jazeera. So you can see they're really across the world. So we have an employability team, which provides our students with a really great service, careers counselling, employment opportunities, getting involved in leadership challenges, CV workshops to make sure that your CV is appropriate for New Zealand or for back home if you're hoping to go back home. But one thing I would like to highlight, which is really cool, which a lot of universities would definitely not have, is AUT has a kind of company, I guess, called Interns, which is a recruitment service for AUT students. So because we are so well regarded in industry and we have those 5,000 different industry partners, they get in touch with us when they need to hire people, whether it's for internships or for graduate roles. And AUT will advertise those carefully chosen roles to our students and help to match an employer with a student, as a recruitment service would do. So the consultants there will help to guide and coach the students through the application process and link them with employers. So that is something that you would not normally expect at a university. So probably helps with one of the reasons our we have such a good employee rate.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's great to know that AUT, besides having good academic and providing great facilities and also having this career opportunity for students, so that they will have they would know what to plan ahead and what to in terms of the support they will get. That is great to know. Besides having knowing about education, is there anything as an international student should experience as a student? I mean, in terms of their student life.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, we have over 5,000 students. 5,000 international students, and we have about 30,000 students overall. So I'm just going to flick over this slide here, just a second. So the student life on campus. We will, of course, give you a Kiwi welcome to AUT and to New Zealand, and the university itself will support you to settle into life and your studies while you're here. We would put things in place to make sure you're able to make friends, to learn about the culture, and discover New Zealand, because I would really, really recommend that while you are here, to use Auckland as a base to discover the rest of the country. New Zealand is a beautiful country. I came here for 1 year, 8 years ago, and 7 years later, I am still here because I just love the country so much. It's really, even to just, you can take quick flights and things down to Wellington or to Christchurch or up to the top of the North Island. The flights are very, very cheap here in New Zealand, so you can get really good deals. Just go and explore the country. If you're into hiking or kayaking or surfing or anything, really good opportunity to get involved in Kiwi life. So we have a pretty good outdoor society because the weather is warm. Encourage you to just get involved, because of course university experience is about your studies, but it is about the student life as a whole as well. So we would recommend that you get involved in things like social sports, go to orientation week, go to the events that we would run on campus. We have over 100 different clubs that you can join. So if you do want to try something like hiking, but you're not sure how to get involved, I would suggest you do things like join the hiking club, and they will arrange excursions and things for you to get involved in, which is really cool. So yeah, we have faculty clubs, we have cultural clubs, religious clubs, social clubs. There's even K-pop
Wow.
club if you want to try karaoke and stuff. So there really is something for everyone. Another really cool experience that I really, really wish I had done when I was at uni, but I didn't, is going on exchange.
Ah.
So you can go on exchange to one of our partner universities, and you can credit the studies that you do back towards your degree at AUT. So students can go for 1 to 2 semesters. And you can see on the screen there, these guys went to Sweden. The girl on the right hand side there is actually my colleague at AUT International. She's a graduate of AUT, and she went to Sweden while she was studying, and she loved her exchange so much that she's now back working at AUT to promote the exchange program to other students. So so yeah, you normally do about 4 courses towards your program offshore, credit it back to AUT, so it doesn't take any longer to complete your program. And you can go and study at one of our 100 different exchange partners, whether you want to go to Singapore or the US or the UK or Germany, Japan. Yeah, I think that's a really, really cool experience. And we also have the opportunity for students to take their internship overseas as well and bring that back to credit towards their AUT degree. So very, very cool experience.
Yeah, that's great to know. It's good to know that AUT offers so much opportunity for students. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that Samantha you'd like to add on? Like, for example, would there be, as an international student, should we be aware of any rules or any expectation in terms of culture that we should take note?
I think in general, New Zealand has it's a really friendly and open-minded culture. I think sometimes for international students, it's really good to know that we encourage you to ask questions in New Zealand.
Yeah.
So go to class. If you don't understand something or you want to know more, put your hand up. We really encourage that. We encourage you to ask questions, to get involved, and to just think outside the box about different things. So a lot of our academic staff and your tutors will have office hours. You can pop in and ask them any questions. So even though they're your lecturer and they're a professor, they are very happy for you to ask questions for them. And we also have peer mentoring, so that students who might be in the 3rd year of their bachelor's degree who are available for you to pop in and ask questions if you are in your 1st year. So and then, of course, you can become a peer mentor when you are further through your program and help other newer students. So, yeah, I reckon just get involved. Don't be afraid to ask questions and put your hand up, and just embrace New Zealand life and New Zealand culture while you're here.
Yeah, I think that's good. Yeah, because as Southeast Asian students, our culture is that we are very shy to ask questions. I think being outside the comfort zone would be the first step for students to actually move on. Yeah, that is the one that a lot of international students should pick up when they arrive at New Zealand. Yeah, to experience and also maximize their experience when they are in New Zealand.
And I think that's one of the reasons that staying in accommodation and things is really helpful, because you get really immersed in the Kiwi culture as well while you're there. It's very cool. And if students do want to ask any more questions, of course they can contact you at AECC, but they can also contact me as well, and my email address is on the screen there. We would also recommend taking a look and connecting with us on those social media platforms that you can see on the screen, just to get a better idea of the programs and what AUT is about.
Yeah, I think we have covered most of our topic for today. So probably we move on to the questions that students actually commented. Yeah, I'll bring up this first question by Chris. His question is, how easy is it to find summer jobs and other kinds of work through AUT?
So it is pretty easy to find jobs in New Zealand. as I said, you sort of get out what you put in. I would encourage you to get involved with the employability lab, get involved with networking events and things. That will go a long way in New Zealand. The AUT interns and the employability lab can definitely help you to find employment, whether you are looking for an internship or a paid part-time work. We can definitely support you with that. There's also just job search engines in New Zealand that you can have a look at, and you can just apply directly by yourself. There's often many companies looking for summer employees or part-time employees through the semester. So currently on a student visa, you can work for up to 20 hours a week during the semester, and you can work full time during the holidays. Just double check with Immigration New Zealand when you're applying for your visa for the latest guidelines on the work requirements. But yeah, shouldn't be too difficult to find work.
Yeah. The next question is by Turi. How big is the class size usually for students? Yeah, is it taught by professors or teaching assistants?
That would really depend on what kind of course you are in.
Yeah.
So as you can imagine, if you talk about something like the Bachelor of Business, for example, it's a 3-year program. And under that, you can choose a lot of different major or minor options. So the first year, you will kind of be doing core courses in business, which means that the classes will be quite big. But as you start really specializing and picking your electives and your minor, then the class sizes get a lot smaller towards your 3rd year. And they're also run in different types. So you might have quite a lot of students. There's probably hundreds of students in a lecture because you're just being lectured by the professor that's running the course. But then you will also have laboratories, you'll have workshops, you'll have seminars, which will be broken down into a lot smaller. You might only have 15 people in a seminar class. So you will be taught by a mixture of professors and teaching assistants. Teaching assistants often are students who are PhD candidates. So they've already got a master's degree and they're researching that particular area. So they will be able to mentor bachelor's level students.
Moving on to the next question. For MBA, do you require relevant working experience to be eligible for admission?
Yes, we do. So postgraduate business has a range of different courses. There is the MBA, which I believe requires about 5 years work experience, usually at a managerial or team leader level. You can check the exact requirements on our website, right? If you just go in and tap in MBA. But we also have a range of other business programs, which are very similar to the MBA, but they are pitched for students who don't have that 5 years of work experience. Similar type courses run in a similar way by a similar department, but just pitched at a slightly different type of student. So if you don't have those 5 years of work experience, then you might want to consider one of the other programs.
Yeah. Next question will be by Fiona. She mentioned that she noticed that AUT previously was not known by a university. So does that mean that it is more practical and have more internship in the programs?
Yeah, essentially. So because it is a more modern university, it has a bit more of a contemporary approach to education than you might find at a traditional research-led university.
Theoretical,
So it's of course we still are we still have the theory, and all of our programs are underpinned by theory. We still have 60 different research centers and 1,000 different PhD students. But yes, it means that because we are newer, and also because we're a technological university, it is more practical. We do have internships in most of our different programs, especially at undergraduate level. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Next question. I'm not too sure, Samantha, could you answer this? But I'll just read it out. Is there any notable graduates from AUT?
Yes, there are. We have over 100,000 different alumni. So best thing that I would recommend is take a look at our website, take a look at the alumni section, and there's a section there on notable graduates.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Next question by Fiona as well. She heard of Maori, and I think only AUT have compared to other universities in New Zealand. Could you share more about it?
So a marae is
Ah,
a Maori meeting house, community
mm,
house.
mm,
Um, yes, AUT does have a marae on campus. I think some of the other universities in New Zealand probably also have a marae to
mm,
support their Maori students, and also to sort of bring cultural awareness to the university. If
mm-hmm,
you are an international student, actually one of the things that is really cool about AUT is you can spend a weekend on the marae as a part of a Maori experience program. So you go, you stay on the marae, and you get involved in all aspects of Maori culture. So it's a really cool way to learn a bit more about the Indigenous culture in New Zealand.
yeah, that's great to know. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
it's
next
really
question.
cool actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very good that Fiona noticed this. Yeah. Next question will be by Kaiyen. She would like to know if, let's say, she's interested to study sports and recreation in UT, would there be any prerequisite subjects? What is the entry prerequisite for OSMET students?
I'm not familiar with that
Mm,
qualification.
Yeah, this one, OSMET would be the WACE Australia High School Qualification, which is equivalent to Year 12,
Oh, then yes,
Australian Year 12. Yeah.
we would be able to accept that. So the best thing to do would be to take a look at our website.
Yeah.
And they have all of the different entry requirements from all of the different qualifications we can accept. If that's
Mm-hmm.
equivalent to year 12 in New Zealand, or year 13 in New Zealand, that should be fine. You
Mm-hmm.
won't need any particular courses to study sport and recreation,
Mm-hmm.
but there are some that you might find helpful to have studied, just things like biology or science, but you
Yeah.
don't have to have. We'll teach you basically everything you need to know in the first semester, and then you'll upskill quite quickly after that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Next question by Renee. I think this is referring to COVID,
Yeah.
where if, let's say, she is interested to take the February intake, can she do 2 subjects instead of 4 subjects? Because each lesson consists of
Yes.
4 subjects. Yeah.
Yes, you can. So the Bachelor of Business is available fully online.
Mm-hmm.
I would recommend that you take the 4 subjects. That's a
Mm.
full-time study load, because if you take just 2 subjects, that means you're going to have another semester where you take just 2 subjects. So you'll
Mm-hmm.
extend the period that you need to study your degree for. So it would end up being 3.5 years rather than just the 3 years.
So
So
yes.
yes, you can, but I wouldn't advise that you do, just because to meet New Zealand student visa requirements, if you are here in New Zealand, you need to take 3 courses. So it can
Mm.
create a little bit of difficulty. It would be okay if you just needed the 2 at the end to complete the program, but that might get messy. So I would recommend that you take 4.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Hope this answered to your question, Renee. Next one is by Sanda. What criteria needed for acceptance if her children wants to apply for arts and design?
That depends on which qualification that you are
Mm-hmm.
studying. Again, all the entry requirements are on our website, and AECC can give you some advice
Yeah.
on that as well. For art and
Yep.
design, you will need to provide a portfolio. There
Mm-hmm.
is a guideline on our website which gives you a lot of different information on what we are looking at from the portfolio. So
Mm-hmm.
we're looking for about 12 to 20 different pieces in a range of different mediums, just to demonstrate your creative practice.
Yes, and then you can drop us a message or probably go to our website at AECC Global. Then we can keep in touch and provide you the information. Yeah. So next question would be how much can students earn if, let's say, they do part-time work, roughly averagely per hour? How much would they be earning?
So the minimum wage in New Zealand, I believe, is around 17 or 18 New Zealand dollars an hour.
Yeah.
So if you are working 20 hours per week, you can earn around $300 a week, if you're
Yeah.
doing that. But it depends on what you're doing. So that
Yeah.
that is minimum wage. So that means that's just for working at a coffee shop or in a supermarket at the weekend. If you're already have a degree or you're doing more skilled employment, you would expect to earn a little bit more than that.
Yeah, yeah. I think that amount would be sufficient to cover for students' living expenses, foods, and all those. Yeah. So I think there's one last question by Anna. In this time of pandemic that has not ended yet, do AUT open for international students in class studies, or how is the class be operating now?
So because we are COVID free here in New Zealand, the course is actually running fully in person at the moment. Throughout the year, it's been what we call blended, which is
Yeah.
a mixture of in person and online. So yeah, we're during the real lockdown, during the pandemic, we were operating fully online, and we were providing laptops and internet connections to any students that didn't have the connections at home, and supporting students that are in our halls of residence by providing them 3 meals a day and things, to make sure that everyone was okay during the pandemic. But at the moment, it's fully in person.
Yeah, that means for international students, however, because the borders are closed, courses will be online, I believe.
Yes, so there is a range of programs that we're able to do fully online, and details of those ones are on our website. So we can accept applications for them for semester 1, which starts in February, March time next year. But the courses that have real practical components, it's a little bit difficult for us to run those properly online for the students to get a good experience. So things like design isn't available online, or computer science isn't available online, just because the students really need to be there to get that experience. But a lot of our programs are available. So things like business is available, Bachelor of Arts is available.
Yeah. That will be our last question. So thank you everyone for the question that you have. So we hope Samantha had actually addressed to all your questions. So it has come to the end of this live session. So Samantha, would you have anything like last things to share with the audience?
I think we've probably covered pretty much everything about AUT, but thank you everyone for listening in today, and asking us your questions. Those were some really good questions. Thank you AECC for hosting this with me, and please do contact AECC if you need any more information. They are our representatives overseas.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Samantha, for your valuable time and sharing with us the information about AUT. And also thank you, every one of you, for attending this live session. So we truly appreciate your time, and especially now it's lunchtime. You might be having your lunch while watching this. So if you have any questions or have any queries about studying in New Zealand, about studying in AUT, feel free to reach out to us. So you can actually go Instagram or Facebook page, which is pinned right down here. Yeah. So that is our social media page. So you can just reach out to us. So next, we will be having our next session of our ENZ 360 live session. It will be regarding Massey University that is happening at 1:30 Singapore Malaysian time, 12:30 Indonesian time. So remember to join that session and also share with friends and family about the live session later on. Yeah. So that's all about it. Thank you, Samantha. Thank you again. Yeah. See you in New Zealand if, let's say, we have a chance.
Yes, I hope to visit you guys soon. Fingers crossed the borders will open.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Thank you so
Take
much.
care. See
Bye.
you. Bye bye.